In this video, we're going to show you how to set up all the electronics for all the components that we've now put on the conveyor.
Hi, so I'm back again after Andy has talked you through the installation of all the hardware on this conveyor, the load cells, the speed sensor, the importance of alignment and clearance, and so on. And so in this section, we're going to talk about wiring everything up into the junction box and turning on the console and doing some basic settings there. So the first thing we'd like to wire up in the junction box is the load cells, or you can mount up to 4 load cells in a junction box if it's licensed that way. The basic license includes wiring up to 2 load cells, and we like number 1 to be the one that is closest to us. To make it simple, we've got a simple schematic on the back side of the lid of the junction box. So this is the lid, I took it off, and it tells you which color wire goes on which connector. It's very simple to do. So these are little clamp connectors, and there's a little button on here that you push, and you can use a pen or a small screwdriver. This is how you undo the wire, and in order to insert it is you push that button in, insert the wire, and then pull on it a little bit to make sure that it's seated properly. We've also gone ahead and wired up the speed sensor that gets connected to this connector block here. We've also gone ahead and connected up our communication cable that's connected up to this top right connector, and that runs back to a 4-pin terminal on the console. All right, so we've also hooked up our power supply to the console. It's connected into my extension cord, and it's giving us power to this console. I'm going to turn it on by pushing the power button once. It tells you the version number, and now we're into the main menu, Run. And as you were watching this, you could see the little indicator lights on the junction box PCB come on. And they tell us a couple of important things. The red one means we have power to the junction box. It does need power. And the yellow one means that we have communication happening between the junction box and the console. So both are right. You also see this little green light. That's for our shaft speed sensor. And that will start to blink when the shaft is turning. There are other things we can connect up in the junction box. We have provisioned for analog inputs. We can connect up a temperature sensor. We can connect up a tilt sensor. We can connect up a secondary shaft speed sensor. In some cases that has advantages. And we can add other components to the board. We can give you a relay output. So when, for instance, when you're running a load and you reach a target weight, that relay would go live. That would give you an opportunity to connect up an alarm system, or an electrician could use that relay to control the conveyor, turn it off. And we have another connector that can go in there, which will give us a 4 to 20 milliamp output that some people use to control secondary equipment that comes after the scale. So the scale will give us flow rate. The flow rate controls the output, the 4 to 20 milliamp output, and you can use that as an input to, for instance, a chemical application pump, so that the chemical application is in proportion to the flow rate on the belt. So Andy's displaying an extra enclosure for the electronics for our conveyor scale system. Very often, conveyor scales end up in a very humid environment, in a potato storage, for example, where equipment gets washed. This will add a lot of extra protection to the electronics, and I really recommend it. You can purchase this from Greentronics. You can purchase it from your local electrical provider.